Hey everyone, how's it going? Raf here. Welcome back to another video of mine. Today I'm super excited to bring you guys this pair of shoes. This is the 2023 retro of the Air Max 1 and the big bubble configuration. So that means it's got its big bubble, of course, that we've been wanting for so long, OG materials, OG cuts, and OG everything pretty much. So without further ado, I'm gonna get right into it. But before that, I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you why I bought this shoe. I bought this shoe to celebrate 10,000 views on YouTube. I reached that mark about yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, all in less than a year, as well as 135 subscribers. It's something I'm really proud of, something I'm really happy about. So if you're a recurring viewer, thank you very much. If you're a first-time viewer, welcome. Thank you very much for tuning in. Think about subscribing. It would help me out a lot. But yeah, I just thought I would celebrate it, and I bought these exactly for that special occasion. So once again, thank you to everybody from my Instagram or my friends list on Facebook, wherever I promote my videos. If you've ever tuned in from one of my links, thank you. I appreciate it more than you'll ever know. And we will move on to the shoes now. So I'll give you a full detailed look and review and tell you a little bit about my own thoughts on the shoe, because I've had a few Air Max ones in the past. Tell you maybe about how these compare to them. So without further ado, let's start with the box. You've all seen it before. It's sort of like this, I guess you could call it, not reimagined, but they definitely gave it a different treatment than they would have if they were just like a regular release. You got the 4 circles from the air bubble on the side right here, which I think is a very nice touch. I actually really like this box. You know, I'm a sucker for a good presentation, and these definitely fall into that category. The official label reads Nike Air Max 1 86 OG. The official colorway is white and university red, so pretty straight to the point. These are my size 10.5, my regular size. And yeah, so let's move on to the shoes. I'll put the box on the sides, and it's actually pretty cool. Nice little display piece. And I'll give you a little detailed look and 360. Honestly, I was not really feeling these when they first showed pictures. I'll be completely honest. I wasn't feeling them at all. I think it's definitely a shoe that looks either A, better in person, or B, better on foot. Every time I just see these like this, like on the internet without anybody's foot in it, or just like nothing, like no jeans over them, or like no pants to complement them, they just look weird. I guess it's because I've gotten so accustomed to the Air Max 1 shape that we've known to grow and love since '87, which is what followed this pair of shoes, because I'll tell you a little bit about the history of the big bubble. But I guess we've gotten so used to that shape and that construction that anything else just looks weird. And indeed it does, but I'm sure I'll warm up to it. I'm very excited to have these. First off, it's definitely a shoe that I wanted to give a chance because of its significance to the sneaker culture, sneaker history, which is what I'm all about first and foremost. I really like the culture part of it all, most than anything. So I thought it would be great to celebrate. So of course, the big bubble that we got right here, of course you have 4 circles instead of 3, and if you look at comparative videos and photos against a regular air unit, you'll see how significant the difference is. And the reason why they actually got rid of that air bubble, that big air bubble, is because under cold climates it would crack and it would not explode, but disintegrate. It would just not hold up in harsher conditions. So what they did is they re-engineered the Air Max 1 in '87 and dropped it, and they had a much smaller air unit, and which is what we know and love today, not this. This only lasted a couple months, and only about 400,000 pairs were ever released of this shoe, and they actually used a CT scan of one of those 400,000 original pairs to make these as like the mold, I guess. So that's pretty cool. My friend Brandon has these. He told me that he's also one of the reasons I got them, because he told me that they feel a lot better, like they look a lot better on feet as well, with like some track pants, you know, like once you really get the 80s look going, they really look good. And that's also one of the reasons why I kind of caved in. It was a shoe I was gonna get either way. I think I just can't ignore an Air Max 1 in its OG form and OG colorway. And I did have the 2009, like I mentioned, the 2009 Sports Red, or I don't know if I mentioned it, but anyways, I'm gonna compare them to that version even if I don't have it anymore. I'm gonna tell you what I think is different and what is pretty similar. You know what, I'll actually get into that right now. The materials are pretty much the same, maybe a bit rougher on this one, I guess, because the older ones were a lot more worn, and also that could be why. But the materials are just like a synthetic, like suede, I guess, or like a felt material. It really doesn't feel all that great, but you know what, that's probably how it was back in the 80s, back when that shoe released, so I'm not gonna go ahead and complain about that. But if you're into premium materials, if that's what you're looking to get out of this pair, it won't be the pair for you, unfortunately. But the material is pretty much like the same. What I feel is different is just the overall profile. It just seems a lot more sleek. The 2009s were a lot fatter, and the tongue is a lot, I don't know, it's a lot, it was a lot thinner on, or no, it's a lot thinner on this one, sorry, it's a lot thinner. The old ones had a lot of padding right here. They had some big padding, and it's really a pair of shoes, like, it's weird because as the years go by, you can tell that some shoes are modeled after like the fashion, I guess. And you know, back in 2009, people wore baggy pants, you know, baggy jeans, and those shoes just look really puffed out, if you know what I mean. They had a big tongue which you could just like stick out. They just, I don't know how to describe it. If you have a pair of 09s, you'll probably know what I'm talking about. But you know, laced loosely with the tongue all stuck out, you know, to put your jeans behind them, that's kind of how it was back then, and I think it shows. Like, this shoe is a lot more streamlined, it's a lot more sleek. It's a lot less refined, I feel like, than the 2017 anniversary version. I never had it, but it just feels like a more, I don't know, man, I don't know how to describe it, but it definitely seems like a lot less plush, and which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Me personally, I don't mind. I really like things to be as they are, or as they were originally. So I'm not really complaining about that. I just feel like it's an observation to make. This shoe just seems a little bit more rough around the edges, if that makes any sense. You of course got your size 10.5 label right here that they print on. They used to do that back in the day, back in the 70s to the 90s, I think. Sometimes they would even put the like production code and the factory code as well next to it. Not in that case, but what you do have though is a made in Vietnam, oh no, that's on the other side, sorry. It's a made in Vietnam tag right here. I don't know if you'll be able to see that, sorry. It says made in Vietnam in that OG font and OG tag, except the OGs were actually made in Korea, if I'm not mistaken. So that's just one thing to point out. And I also feel like choked up, like these don't look that great. I just didn't want to touch the lacing because it was like, I don't want it to like ruin like the factory lace, I guess, for the video. But yeah, they'll probably look a lot better with a foot in it and just like relace, just less tight, I feel like. They got that super big bubble. I wonder if there's gonna be any change in comfort in those. But yeah, I've seen videos on them, and people, it's weird because people say that you feel it, some people don't feel it at all, so I really wonder. And I got these in my true size 10.5. A lot of people were saying go down half a size. A lot of people were also saying go true to size. I don't know, I just stuck to my gut. There is less padding than the previous versions, so I don't know, that'll probably have like an impact on the fit. But really, I mean, I don't mind. I don't mind lacing my shoes all the way to the top, like not choke them, but I don't mind. So either way, I think it'll be good. And you of course got that Nike Air on the insole right here, and you got that super plush lining, of course. I just think it's a really good execution by Nike. I'm really happy with how they did them, and I'm really happy with how they look in person. Like I said, I didn't really like them in pictures. I still don't. I just really think they look better in person, and I have yet to see them on my foot. I'm super excited about that. And you know, one of my favorite parts about this shoe is that mesh right here. There's two kinds of mesh, as you can see. The mesh right here and the mesh right here. This is super hard to clean, by the way, so these will be a pain to keep clean, but hey man, what do you want? Can't do anything about that. Can you accept that Jason mark you got in your closet? But yeah, that's super like close knit, tight knit mesh. I really like that. For whatever reason, it really sticks out to me more than anything else. And one thing I'd like to point out about this shoe is the QC. It's on my pair, on this specific right shoe, it's passable. On the left shoe, there's nothing wrong with them, but on this one you can see there's a little bit of like red thread sticking out, and red thread sticking out here as well. Really nothing major. It's kind of more of a nitpick. I just thought it would be worth mentioning. But on the other shoe, there's really nothing worth pointing out. Also, I really want to get a shoe tree in there. I really want to see how it looks with a shoe tree and like the shape, kind of like elongate them a little bit. But yeah, I think that's gonna be it for me, guys, for this Air Max 186 Big Bubble. Thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. And once again, thank you very much for 10,000 views. I really appreciate that more than you ever know. It really means a lot to me, knowing that this whole YouTube thing actually works, and it's just not something I do on the side. Like, you know, it actually works. People like it. It feels really nice. Well, I do it on the side, you know. It's something I'll pretty much always do on the side. I don't see myself getting paid off of this in any way, shape, or form anytime soon. But you know, just the fact that it works just feels a lot better. You know, actually getting to make these videos is super fun as well to me, so it's just an overall better time even. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to drop a like if you can, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you very much, guys. Have a good rest of your night.